first gear. Try to pull this back some so you can kind of see everything. But look, I'm holding the camera with one hand. My other hand's right here in frame. My one foot's outside of the car. No camera tricks here. 1 foot, no hands. That easy. That's truly how easy it is to drive a manual. Hey guys, today I'm going to do a super fast tutorial on how to drive a stick shift so easily you can do it with 1 foot. Make a video that is somebody who, especially somebody who maybe wants to drive one quick. You're in a situation where the only car available to you is a manual. Maybe it's an emergency. I know, like, I have 2 sisters and I'm always telling them, like, you should learn to drive a stick. That way, if you're just ever in a situation to where you're somewhere, something happens, the only car available is a stick shift, you have a way to drive. I am gonna teach you some other tips and tricks as far as like how to start on a hill, how to start in traffic, how and when to shift, and how to park on a hill and take off from the hill. Now, without further ado, let's learn how to drive a stick shift. Just to prove, you'll see that this foot is not even in the car. Right foot on the clutch, first gear, and we're just gonna let off. We're driving. I'm not gonna bore you with technical reasons for this. I will say that modern cars made in really since probably some point in the 90s on, maybe even sooner, they all have ECUs, they all have computers. So the computer doesn't want the car to die. So it's going to do things in small fashions to help that. Which is why if you just let the clutch pedal out slowly, it'll take care of itself. Now, if I just remove my foot, yeah, it'll die. It'll lunge and die. So while, yeah, as you get better at it, you know, you want to hit the gas at the same time and accelerate and such. And obviously in traffic, you know, you don't want to be starting off that slow every time. But you know what? I'd rather start off that slow than kill it or roast the clutch or spin the tires or any number of other things you can do by panicking and giving it too much gas. Now that we got the basics out of the way, if that's really what you needed, you know, that was really meant for the person who is like, I mean, to be honest, somebody who's in a situation that they probably shouldn't be in, and the only car available to them is a manual, and they needed a video real quick. They didn't need some 20-minute tutorial on how a clutch and transmission work together. They just needed to know how to make the car move. Now, if you're gonna go a little bit further, I'm gonna give you a little bit of information. One, how you can drive it better so that way you can drive in traffic and so forth and be better. 2, again, not gonna bore you with technical details, but a little bit of information because some cars and vehicles are different. So let's start at the beginning here, how to start a car that's a manual. My car is a 5-speed, so that means first gear is up and to the left in most cases. Second, third, fourth, fifth. And then reverse is all the way over and down. Now, most cars have a lockout, so like right now I'm in 5th. If I try to go, it won't let me. Make sure it's in neutral, and you can do that by just moving it around. It should move around freely. If it's in gear and you try to move it, it's not gonna move much. It moves a little usually, but not like crazy amounts. You're gonna have both the clutch pedal and the brake pedal, which is the middle. That's your throttle. So you're gonna have the brake and the clutch all the way down. So that way you don't stall it. That way you don't roll backwards or forward or anything else. You're gonna wanna make sure the e-brake is down. Some newer cars have a button e-brake, so you may have to look for it, but just make sure the e-brake is off. So we're in neutral, got the e-brake off, foot on the clutch, foot on the brake. Go ahead and start the car. Now, we're gonna put it in gear. We're gonna go with first gear. So up and to the left with most cars, but like I said, there'll be numbers on there. Mine needs redone, so just ignore that. But the numbers on your car will probably be accurate, but if they're not, up and to the left. Foot on the brake, foot on the gas. Now, like I said, you don't need the gas to start moving. The car's gonna do it on its own. But as you start to feel it move, then just hit the gas just a little bit. Just a little bit. Now we've got a real smooth start, and we're good to go. All right, so we know how to start a manual and to get moving. How do we stop it? Well, you stop it like most cars. All right, we're driving. Now we want to learn how to come to a stop. So we're going to push the clutch in all the way. We're going to slow down just like we would in a normal car. Come to a stop, put it in neutral, turn the car off. So once the car is completely stopped, we're going to put it in the first. Still got our feet on the clutch and the brake. We're going to pull the e-brake, and now we're good to let go of both. So now let's talk about when you should shift. Generally, you can do this by hearing. Obviously, you don't want to go into the red line and above. For most normal driving, you're probably going to shift somewhere in the middle just as the car gets louder. There's not necessarily a hard and fast rule, and shifting is the easiest. When we're driving, we simply push the clutch in and then go to the next gear and then let the clutch come out slowly, just like when we're starting. So as we get moving, you'll notice the RPMs are climbing. You'll also notice that it's getting louder. And those are your two indicators. Then we're gonna just shift, and you'll notice the RPMs drop and the car gets a little quieter. And then we can go to third, and again, gets a little quieter, RPMs continue to fall. We can even go in the fourth. Now we're getting really quiet and really low in RPMs because we're only doing 30 miles an hour. And finally, fifth. Now we're coming to a complete stop. Clutch in. As we brake, we're to a complete stop. Make sure we're in first gear before we start again. And it's the whole process over again. So look, 1 foot. Start moving. Now we can use the accelerator. And there we go. Okay, the last driving bit we're gonna cover is downshifting. So we know that when you come to a complete stop, you want to downshift back into first. You want to go back into first. Some cars can start in second if they have enough torque. You know, my car can technically do it, but it's just harder on the clutch. So generally speaking, you want to be in first. But there are those times where, you know, you're in a place where the speed limit just declines. You go into a residential area and the speed limit drops dramatically. So you were in third or fourth or fifth gear, and now that's just ridiculous and you need to be in a lower gear. Downshifting implies you're pushing the clutch, and you don't want to do that on a turn or in snowy conditions until you're absolutely certain. But we're gonna assume dry, safe, straight roads, which is what we're on here today. Well, that's a curve, but it's straight. We'll do this in a straight portion. I'm gonna wait for this Jeep to go by first before we do it. Hopefully the wind noise isn't too bad. It's super hot today. We're coming to a slowdown, but we're not gonna stop, so we wanna downshift. You can see we're kinda on a little curve right now, so we're gonna wait. We're gonna wait till it's safer. You can see this construction zone coming up. We're definitely gonna have to downshift for that. Now, downshifting works the same way as upshifting. You're gonna push in the clutch and go to the next gear, except in this case, you're gonna go down a gear. So we're in fourth gear right now, so I'm just gonna push in the clutch, go into third, and there we go. You notice the exact opposite happens. The engine RPMs went up, the noise went a little bit louder. That's to be expected. All right, I don't know how well this is gonna come out on camera, the fact that we are on a hill. And sorry, but my actual camera died, so this portion here is gonna be on my iPhone. But the car is running. We've got the foot on the clutch, the foot on the gas. We're in first. This could happen for a couple reasons. Maybe you had to park on a hill, or maybe traffic just stopped on a hill. The best way to do this is pull your e-brake. So with the e-brake all the way up, push the button in so it's ready to go down, and you'll notice if I let off the brake, we don't move. So now I got my foot on the gas, and we're gonna start letting it off, and then we're gonna pull that e-brake back down, so that way we're not rolling backwards. Now, when you get good at it, you won't really need that trick anymore. Although I will say that even though I can do it without it, as you can see, it's better for the clutch in the car, especially in my car that doesn't make a lot of torque right down low. Most of my power is up higher. It helps a lot, so. And here we go. Shift, and we're moving. That's all there is to it. Oh, hi, boys. Watch out. Watch out. All right, back at the house here. To wrap this up, I just want to go over a few additional pointers real quick. When you're driving, whether you're starting, stopping, shifting, doesn't matter. If the car is kind of lunging or shaking or just doesn't feel smooth, you're probably letting the clutch out too quickly. Not only should it be a slow release, but it should be a linear release as well. You don't want to let off part of it real quick and then go slow, or vice versa. It should just be like a consistent slowness. Also, I touched on this briefly in the video, but I didn't want to overwhelm you with too much information too quickly. When you push in the clutch, you are essentially putting the car in neutral. Therefore, generally speaking, you never want to push in the clutch unless the steering wheel is completely straight, so you want to be on a straight road. You don't want to be going around a bend or a turn or anything like that. Further, you need to be extra careful in snow. Hopefully you're not learning to drive a stick shift in the snow, but as I said in the beginning, if you're in a position where you need to learn quickly, and you're watching this video, then just know that snow, you have to be even more careful than you would be in a automatic. Truthfully, driving a manual in the snow, I feel, is much safer The one thing you have to realize though is every time you push in the clutch, you run the risk of the car sliding because you're removing that power from the wheels. You're removing that torque. So just know that if you are learning in the snow, push the clutch in as infrequently as possible, even if that means driving in lower gears for longer and, you know, not shifting as much. You know, if we have really bad snow, for example, I'll go all the way home in like 4th gear on the highway, just to keep the RPMs higher. That way I can just let off the throttle a little bit to slow me down versus trying to push in the clutch and shift. Now, I know I avoided a lot of technical reasons for saying some of the things that I've said in this video for why you should do things. That's to keep this simple, and as I said before, this is really just meant for somebody who needs to learn quickly, needs to know some basics. That said, if you would like some explanations or you have some questions, by all means, comment below and I will answer them. And if I get enough questions or enough comments to where it's necessary, I can do a follow-up video in some more detail. Lotus, a little worked up. Been restricted on exercise for a week now, so he's a little antsy. And he's still a puppy. With that said, appreciate you guys as always. Subscribe for more car content and pup content like Enzo and Lotus. They also have their own channel and their own Instagram if you want to follow them more. Other than that, appreciate you guys as always, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Say bye. Yo.